Hey guys, how you doing?
How's it going, Bob? Good to
How you
see you.
doing?
Junior, your hair looks good. I saw you sort of messing with it
Appreciate
there.
you, man. I was looking at it. Needed that.
Hey, when you were with San Jose State, you guys went to Auburn a couple years ago and gave them a pretty good game. I think you were leading them at halftime, maybe. I was wondering what you remember about that, and does that help? That you're going back there. That's maybe something you can look back on playing there and remember what the atmosphere was like and those type things.
It was definitely, you kind of have a sense of what the crowd noise is going to be. That was actually my second career start ever at tackle. And so, it was lots of nerves back then, but I think now I have a lot more confidence in myself. And yeah, no, they have a great atmosphere there, a great crowd, and I'm excited to play there.
And then this is going to be your guys. It's like Josh Brown was saying the other day. The season flies by. It's already been 3 games. Oh, your first 3 games at Arkansas. How have they gone overall? And just kind of what's the season been like for you so far? And Rodney, maybe you could take that too. What your start here at Arkansas has been like?
Yeah, I've loved where these first 3 games have gone. Obviously, last week I got a little bit better. We had a better start, but I like where this team is heading. I like how the offensive line is gelling. I feel like I kind of always been saying each and every week we're just getting closer and closer, and we're playing our better. We keep playing good ball each week, and so that's awesome to see, and that feels good for me as being like a left tackle in the group and just kind of seeing the group develop throughout the year. And so it's exciting to see kind of where we're going to head and where we're at right now.
Yes, sir. Really, you can just see everybody just like starting to gel together, and like we're just improving week by week, and it's just really looking good. And I'm liking like my first 3 games. I love it here. It's been pretty great. I've just been having a blast, honestly.
And Junior, the tackle that made a second start at Auburn 2 years ago, now you're a guy that's got out whatever 30 games, whatever under your belt. How different are you now as opposed to then? I mean, how much better and in what ways are you better now than you were then?
I'm definitely not as fat as I used to be back then. I feel like when I was kind of going into that game, I was just kind of fat little tackle out there just trying to fight his tail off. And, I've obviously grown as just kind of in the sense of my body and then also my mind and just kind of the knowledge of the game. I feel like when I first went there, I was a young pup, a young offensive lineman, just trying to figure things out. And I think now I've kind of grown. Uh, I've just grown my mind. I've grown my knowledge of the game, and the game comes to me a lot easier.
Rodney, what's your take on Junior as a player, and a guy that's obviously trying to open holes for you, and maybe just the offensive line as a whole, but Junior first, and then the O line as a whole.
Well, Junior is a real like leader. Like he's really the leader that you need in the locker room and really on the offensive line. He keeps us all together and stuff like that. And like for the O line as a whole, like I have a great time with him. Like we all got a good relationship. Like we be out there dapping each other up, like in the huddles and stuff like that. Like we got a real brotherhood, and it's pretty good to see. And I just enjoy it.
Okay, I might have a few more, but I'll turn it back to Oliver. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Rodney, you're from Statesboro, right?
Yes, sir.
That's just like 4 hours away. Obviously, there's a lot of people from Georgia that go to Auburn and stuff. There's a lot of talk about Auburn in the state of Georgia. I'm just curious, you growing up and stuff, what do you remember about some of that kind of stuff? What was talked about with Auburn, and you know anybody on the roster over there?
Yes, sir. I know a couple of people on the roster, just like the running back, Damari Austin, and Kayan Lee, the cornerback. Like a few of them, never played against them, but I just know they from the Atlanta area and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like for me, Georgia, we all just know each other from like camps or stuff like that.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Auburn and just, I guess, just maybe discussion from within the state of Georgia, since I mean, what is it, like 2 hours from the border of Georgia?
Yes, sir. It's 2 hours from the border of Georgia. It's 4 hours from where I'm from. But honestly, I'm just ready to play the game and just really just go out there and compete with my brothers actually.
Yeah. Excuse me. I guess it's about an hour, 2 hours from Atlanta. Excuse me. Uh, Fernando, you were recruited by Auburn out of the transfer portal, heavily recruited. You had to make a tough phone call to them to tell them after your Arkansas visit that you were sticking with the Hogs. How did that conversation go? I know that you said they were kind of blowing you up and stuff after you had to tell them that.
Yeah, obviously it was it was a hard call, but it's understanding, that's just kind of how college football is now. The portal kind of happens fast. You make these quick relationships, and then you got to make that quick decision. And just how it is, you can't be everywhere. I couldn't be there, and I can't be here. My heart was here all the way, and I've always been a big believer in following your heart, and my heart was in Arkansas, so it was a really easy decision.
Coach Pittman says they like to blitz a lot and use an odd front. Just curious overall, what do you see out of them schematically for both?
Yeah, they got a lot of big boys up front, and they like to blitz, and so it's going to be really key for us as an offensive line just to have our eyes up, just being locked into this game plan, and just kind of being able to read these blitzes before they even happen. So it's just going to be a lot in our preparation and our game plan, and I think if we are able to do that throughout the week, we'll be just fine.
Rodney, your thoughts?
Just a lot of movement. They got some big boys down in the D-line area. Just a lot of movement from them and stuff like that. But it's not nothing that we can't handle.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Jackson, go ahead.
Sorry. Hey, guys. For both y'all, I know you played behind a little bit against Oklahoma State, but you go down by 2 touchdowns early against UAB. I'm sure you'll play from behind again at some point this season. What did you learn about the offense being able to erase that early deficit and make a comeback there this weekend?
I think just our poise as an offense, and the main one leading that is TG. Whenever he gets into that huddle, you could just see that look in his eyes where he's like, we might be down 2 scores or we might be down a score, but it doesn't phase us. And I think just the poise that he kind of gives off to us is everything. And it kind of has helped us in that Oklahoma State game. Obviously, we didn't get the job done, but we got that game winning, or we got that drive down to tie it up. And then obviously the UAB game, we were down, and we came back and we fought back. But I think it's just Taylor's poise and just kind of that aura he gives off to us.
Yeah, his energy is like very powerful. And it's like games like that, like you need your quarterback, and Taylor is like all of that. Like he keeps everybody he's very poised, and he keeps us into it, and it just really helps us.
I know neither of y'all were here last year, but we just talked to Xavier, and he said he could kind of feel maybe the hurt of the Auburn result last year. Have you guys gotten any sense of that, of trying as newcomers, maybe trying to help the guys that were here last year, put that memory to bed a little bit?
Well, it's definitely, those are our brothers, man, and they got beat last year, and they're hurt, and so their hurt is my hurt, and so I'm trying everything in my power to go in there and change a result this year, and we're not going to feel that hurt again.
Yes, sir. He said it all right there. I don't really have much to say.
And Rodney, I'm just curious, Jaquindon, 300-yard rushing games already. Have you seen maybe he's always been a confident guy from what I can tell, but have you seen maybe even that confidence even growing any more? Can it get any higher? Just, seeing himself do it on the SEC stage, or for an SEC team at least so far?
Oh, yes, sir. I can see it. It's going to go to the roof. It's going to go to the roof. He's a real great player. Like, his practice ethic is insane. He keeps us all involved, and he's a leader pretty much too to all of us in there. He keeps all of our heads straight. Like, if we mess up on something, he's there to keep us up. But yes, sir, most definitely.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Otis.
Fernando, hey, losing Patrick Kudus could have been a disaster, but Demarion Harris has stepped in and really played well. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, man, he got the opportunity, and he took full advantage of it. And I think that just kind of shows of his practice habits, and he's always been ready, and he knew that he was going to be that next man up. And so he came in, and I think he did an excellent job making the calls, and just kind of his confidence, and he never wasn't up and down. He was very level-headed, and he was ready for the opportunity. So I was really happy to see that.
Rodney, 3 games in here at Arkansas, is it going about like you thought it would for you? I'm talking about individually. Is it going about like you thought it would, or you still looking?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, like it's been a pretty good season for me. I feel like it's about the same as when I was at my prior school. I don't really look at individual. I just look at team, make sure that we win, and that's all I can really care about. I don't really care about individual stats.
Yeah, you guys, both of you, just SEC getting off to a start. You got some. Not that Auburn's not tough; they're all tough. I get that, but it does. You start playing higher ranked teams later for whatever that is worth. How important is it to get a win Saturday?
Oh, it's tremendous, man. I'm a big believer in momentum, and you know, you got to get that first one, and it's all about this week. And if we get this, kind of gets that ball rolling, and you know, creates that belief in the room that you know what, we could do this in the SEC. So, you know, every game means a lot, but obviously we're starting SEC play, and you want to get that first one to get that ball rolling.
Hey, thanks. Good luck, guys, both of you.
Thank you.
All right, Bob, take us home. Yeah, you know, I know you guys have obviously played conference games before. This will be your first SEC game. How big a deal is that? Whether it's Auburn or whoever it was, it's you know, it's the SEC now.
It's just another game, man. I mean, obviously, it's gonna be better competition. It's bigger boys, but at the end of the day, it's another week. The ball's gonna be the same. The field's gonna be the same length. There's nothing that's gonna change. Football's football, and it is a different conference. But you know, if you go out there, play, and prepare like we always do, I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, so it's just another week, honestly. That's all the way how the way we all been looking at it. It's just another week. It's better competition. So hey, why not us?
And then, Junior, I think I read this. Who were I mean, Arkansas is obviously your final choice, but who else was in that top two or three? And I think I read you visited here, committed, and then canceled your trip to Auburn. Have I got that right?
Yeah, that's correct. I had I think UCLA, BYU in there, but yeah, I had that trip to Auburn, but like I said before, man, you know, when I touched down here and I met Coach Mateos, I was actually introduced to Blackstock at the time, and everything just felt right. Everything felt right in the moment, and you know, me coming here, I still will say the same. It's been the best decision I've ever made. I love this place. I love Arkansas. I love the fans, and it's a great decision.
When you had to call Auburn and tell them, hey, cancel my hotel room or whatever, did you call Hugh Freeze or the line coach? Or do you remember who you talked with?
I think I talked to the O-line coach. It was a brief conversation, but it's just kind of how it goes. You had to make those tough conversations, but you know, at the end of the day, I was at my favorite place, and that's Arkansas, so I wasn't too hurt.
And then we were talking to the defensive guys earlier, and I asked them about you, and Xavier said you were nice enough to drive him around when he first got here. I was just wondering. I guess that's probably a good way to get to know a new teammate, or kind of what were you like an Uber guy or something, or?
You know, that's kind of just how I've been raised. You know, whenever somebody needs a ride, you throw them in the car, and I don't care how far you have to go. You know, you take them wherever you have to go. And yeah, no, it was a great way to just kind of learn a little bit about him and just kind of his experiences from Georgia. Obviously, I think he was on a championship team, so or just even being in that program. And so it was good to just kind of hear his experiences and just kind of hear his life story and just create that bond with him. And he's an awesome dude, man. I love being around him. He's a great teammate, but even better friend.
Okay, well, hey, I think I'm good. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Bob.
Sure.
We'll see you on Auburn.